I am Niranjan Das, Acharya, Saraswati Shishu Vidya Mandir, Kabirpur, Jaspur. I welcome to you all to my English class. Today we are going to learn about a poem of class 9th, and the title of the poem is Noble Nature. So now students, I can't see you, that actually pains me very much. However, let's learn a very interesting poem. The title of the poem is Noble Nature. So now students, Noble Nature is very interesting poem of Ben Jonson, and his full name is Benjamin Jonson, who was very popular as a dramatist, poet, and a writer also. And he was a contemporary of William Shakespeare. And Johnson was actually very popular for his humor and comedy writings. So, in this poem, Ben Jonson describes what qualities make a man noble. So the title of the poem is Noble Nature. So friends, this is the title of the poem Noble Nature, and it is why Ben Jonson, Ben Jonson's humor and tragedy, that is comedy, is very popular, and Ben Jonson was a contemporary of William Shakespeare, and he wrote many plays, and even Shakespeare once acted in Ben Jonson's drama or play. However, children, Ben Jonson, particularly in this poem, wants to say that what qualities make a man noble. The title of the poem is Noble Nature. Noble, what do you mean by students? Noble. Noble means Mohan, Mohanata. को गुण मनीष को कौन करे महान गढ़ी तोड़े. So that is very beautifully pictured in this poem particularly, and the poet gives two comparison. That is, the theme of the poem is actually that human life, human beings are the most wonderful creation of God, Almighty God, So God has created human beings for a definite purpose. And when we have come to this world particularly to perform some good deeds, noble deeds, and lifetime, longevity of a life does not matter. It does not make a man noble, but what makes noble, that is his good deeds and good qualities, noble qualities, right students? So, noble qualities, there is one thing we can take examples, John Keats, who have heard, a very famous poet whose lifetime was only 21 years. Shelley, who lived only 29 years. But during their short lifetime, they did so many noble deeds that they have been remembered. They will be remembered forever. Okay, so You can take the example of Dharmapada and Bajirao. You know, students, Dharmapada and Bajirao, their life, their only voice, and they sacrificed their lives, and they will be remembered forever. Okay, students, Dharmapada, Bajirao ଭଳି ଛୋଟ ଛୋଟ କମ୍ ବୟସର ପିଲା ଯିଏକି ନିଜ ଜୀବନକୁ ଉତ୍ସର୍ଗ କରିଦେଇଥିଲେ ଏବଂ ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ସେ ସବୁଦିନ ଅମର ହୋଇ ରହିଛନ୍ତି। ତେଣୁ ଗୋଟେ କଥା ପିଲାମାନେ, ଲାଇଫ୍ ଟାଇମ୍ ଆମର ବୟସ ପୃଥିବୀରେ ଶତାୟୁଙ୍କ ସଂଖ୍ୟା କିଛି କମ୍ ନାହିଁ, କିନ୍ତୁ ଯଦି ବୟସ ବା ଦୀର୍ଘତା ଯଦି ଗୋଟେ ମହନୀୟତାର ମାପକାଠି ହେଇଥାନ୍ତା ତାହେଲେ ତ ବହୁତ ମହନୀୟ ଲୋକ ଥାଆନ୍ତି ପୃଥିବୀରେ। କିନ୍ତୁ actually the poet wants to say that what the noble deeds, the good qualities of a man makes him noble, not his long life. Right, students? So let's go through the poem and see how Ben Jonson very beautifully gives two examples of an oak tree which is compared with a lily. Right, students? So now let's go through the poem. The noble nature. It's not growing like a tree in both doth make man better be, or standing long an oak 300 year to fall a log at last dry, bald and sere. A lily of a day is fairer far in May, although it fall and die that night. It was the plant and the flower of light. In small proportions we just beauty see, and in short measures life may perfect be. In the very first stanza, the poet says it's not growing like a tree. It means the lifetime of human beings. Our lifetime, the span of, it is how many years a man lives, that doesn't matter. But what he does for the society, what he does some good deeds which makes him noble and great, and for which he will be remembered forever, that actually matters, right? So it is not growing like a tree. Here the tree is particularly referred to an oak tree. So you know, students, oak tree is a very large tree, very huge tree that especially grows in European countries, right? And it is a tree of very tough log and wood, and it lives for hundreds of years, and at last it dies and falls like a log, right? And although it lives for as many as 300 years, it can live, and it in book doth make man better be. Doth, you know, students, doth means does. That is the old use of does. Doth, does, that is the old use. Buck means buck, size, akruti, akar. In buck doth man make man better be. So a man cannot be better if he grows in size, or if he lives a long life, many years. But or standing long and walk 300 years To fall a log at last, dry, bald, and sheer. Bald, B-A-L-D, bald means leafless. Thunta. Sheer means dry. Susko. Molino. Say your time and work. So let's understand the first stanza. Children, in the first stanza, the poet wants to compare the lifetime of the human beings with that of an oak tree. An oak tree, what is the speciality of oak tree? An oak tree lives for 300 years. But although it lives for a long life, a long time, but nobody cares it. It does not come to anybody's help or anybody's work. Why? Because finally, when it dies, it falls like a log, dry and sheer and burnt. So, there is no cheer. It lives a life of cheerlessness. Right, students? এই জীবনର ওক ଗଛଟିଏ 300 ବର୍ଷ ବଞ୍ଚିପାରେ, କିନ୍ତୁ ସେ 300 ବର୍ଷ ଭିତରେ ତା ଜୀବନର ଏତେ ବର୍ଷ ବଞ୍ଚିଲେ ବି ତାର ଜୀବନର କିଛି ମୂଲ୍ୟ ନଥାଏ। କ'ଣ ପାଇଁ? ତାର କିଛି ଶେଷରେ ଗୋଟେ ଥୁଣ୍ଟା ଶୁଷ୍କ କାଠ ଗଡ଼ ହେଇ ପଡ଼ିଯାଏ, ତାକୁ କେହି ମନେ ରଖେନି। ଓକେ, ସୋ what is the intention of the poet by giving this example? Right, students, you see, he wants to say that a human being, see, the most wonderful creation of God. Human beings have some thinking power. They have come to this world for some definite purpose, students. So we have to perform some good deeds, some noble deeds, for which we shall be remembered forever, and then for which our life will be but perfect. Then the intention of the Creator will be fulfilled. Right, students? So भगवान मनीष भगवान सृष्टिर सबुठार होती कौन सबुठ उन्नत जीव। तेणु मनीषर गोटे बुद्धि अच्छी, विवेक अच्छी, से भल मंद विचार कर शक्ति तार अच्छी। तेणु से भगवान सृष्टि कर कारण कौन, पीछे गोटे महत उद्देश्य अच्छी जे मनीष किसी महत काम करू, जो महत कम से महान हो जाओ। पिला माने बयसर रास्ताटा कुआड़े मृत्यु पर, किंतु पिला माने मन रख महनीयतार रास्ता अमरत्व पाखक होता है, अमरत्व दिगरे होता है। Nobility makes a man, but noble his good qualities. For his good qualities, he will be remembered forever. Okay, and for his good qualities, man gets what? Immortal. So अमरत्व प्राप्त हुए केमिति तार महान और महनीयता पाई, महान गुण पाई। So oak tree lives for 100 years. Start. And oak tree lives for 300 years. But as it does nothing, no noble deeds, it has no good qualities, so nobody remembers it. Finally it dies and falls like a log, and in the course of time it mixes with the soil. Right, students? मनीष जन्म हेले मरिबा निश्चित, किंतु मनीष जन्म ए धरापृष्ठ को आसूची किसी महत् काम करने सी केते अमरत्व प्राप्त हुए ना तार महनीय गुण पाए। यदि सेमती किसी काम कर जाए ताहले निश्चित भाव से मृत्यु पर भी अमर ही रही। बाजीराउत धर्मपदर कथा मुझे कहती टे पूर्व पिला माने छोट पिला हेले भी से कौन कर जीवन से महान कर केमी त्याग बल से सब noble quality. Right, students? So let's go to the second stanza. A very interesting thing we shall see in this stanza. A lily of a day is fairer far in May. Although it fall and die that night, it was the plant and flower of light. In small proportions we just beauty see, and in short measures life may perfectly. So lily, students, lily अर्थात में कई फूल बुझबनी पिला माने. So John Benson refers to England, and a lily is not the lily we generally mean. कई फूल नुहे. कई फूलर एक्चुअल इंग्लिश नाम होची वाटर लिली. बुझी এটা কই ফুল. কিন্তু the lily particularly mentioned in this poem, the poet wants to say about which that grows in England. It is a foreign flower, and it blossoms at nightfall, and it dies, and it closes as soon as the night goes or the day breaks. Right, friends? Lily that blooms in the evening and dies after the night. So then it is a flower of a day. The poet says a lily of a day. That means the lifetime of a lily is only a day. It lasts for a night only, and it dies as soon as the sun rises. Right? But it is fairer far in May. Fairer means fair, comparative fairer. उत्कृष्ट, अधिक उन्नत. So in May means the month of May. So May, the month of May is the spring season in England, you know, friends. And lilies, there are about 4,000 species of lilies in the world, and oak, there are 450 species of oak trees that they particularly grow in European countries, right? So lily, the comparison between the oak tree and a lily. An oak tree lives for as many as 300 years, whereas a lily's lifetime is only for a night, right? Lily गोटे राति से फुटी से सकाळ होला झड़ी पड़ी थाए. गोटे राति तार होची जीवन काल पिला माने. किंतु गोटे ओक गछ 300 वर्ष बंचे. किंतु कथा होची डिफरेंस टा कोन. The poet, what does the poet actually want to say? Although a lily lives for only a night, its lifetime is only a night, for a night, but it is fairer. It is and although it falls and dies that night, particular night, it falls and dies in that very night. It was the plant and the flower of light. So you know, see, it was the plant and the flower of light. So here the poet uses light, and what is light? Here light is written in capital letters, students. Why? Because the poet wants to focus on this word, particularly the lily is a flower of light. Here light refers to pleasure, happiness. Okay? So a lily is a flower of light, and but it is a flower of light. In small proportions we just beauty see. Okay, students? A lily which is very fairer. It's fairer in May especially in spring. Spring, May, the month of May is included in spring season in England, So a lily grows particularly in May month, and it is fairier in May, but it falls and dies that very night. ସେ ଗୋଟିଏ ରାତିରେ ସେ ଫୁଟି ସେ ରାତି ପାଇଲା ବେଳକୁ ମଉଳି ପଡ଼ିଥାଏ, ଝଡ଼ି ପଡ଼ିଥାଏ। କିନ୍ତୁ ସେ ଗୋଟିଏ ଏତେ କମ୍ ସମୟର ଜୀବନ କାଳ ଭିତରେ ସେ କ'ଣ କରେ, ତା ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ଏ ଦୁନିଆକୁ ଆଲୋକ, ସୌନ୍ଦର୍ଯ୍ୟ ଏବଂ ଆନନ୍ଦ ଦେଇଥାଏ। So the poet says it's the plant and a flower of light. Flower of light. It is a flower of beauties, pleasure and happiness. Whereas the oak tree which lives for 300 years, no one gets anything from it. It gives nothing. It has no noble qualities, no good qualities. But this is the comparison the poet says, gives us. So children should try to understand our lifetime. What is the real intention, the real theme of the poem? The real theme is that longevity of life, we should not be measured, the nobility of a life is not measured through longevity or long time, long years, how many years a man lives, but it is actually measured by the good qualities, the noble or good deeds what the man performs during his short period. So a man may live for a short period, his lifespan may be short, but if he does some noble deeds, some good deeds, then he will be remembered forever. ଟିକେ ପୂର୍ବରୁ ପିଲାମାନେ କହୁଥିଲି ଯେ ବୟସର ପଥ ମୃତ୍ୟୁ ହୋଇଥାଏ, ଯେତେବେଳେ କି ମହନୀୟତାର ପଥଟା କ'ଣ ହୁଏ ନା ଅମରତ୍ୱ ଉଦ୍ବେଗ ହୋଇଥାଏ। ତେଣୁ ଆମକୁ ମହନୀୟତା ଅମର କରିଥାଏ। So like a lily which lives for only a night, but by means of its fragrance, by means of his beauty, by means of his light which refers to pleasure, happiness and beauties. So a lily is a flower of beauty, happiness and pleasure. So it ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ଚମକି ଦେଇଥାଏ, ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ଚମତ୍କୃତ କରିଥାଏ, ଆନନ୍ଦ ଦେଇଥାଏ କି ଲିଲି ଫୁଲଟେ ମାତ୍ର ଗୋଟିଏ ରାତି ପାଇଁ ସେ ବଞ୍ଚିଥିଲେ ବି, ଗୋଟିଏ ରାତି ତାର ଜୀବନ କାଳ ହେଲେ ବି ସେ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ କ'ଣ କରେ ନା ମନ୍ତ୍ରମୁଗ୍ଧ କରେ, ଆନନ୍ଦ ଦିଏ, ଖୁସି ଦିଏ। जोटिकी गोटे ओ 300 वर्ष बंचले भी से कौन से उपकार कहार लगे। सो दिस इज द रियल थीम ऑफ द पोएम चिल्ड्रेन। In poet says, in small proportions we just beauty see. Proportions means measures, quantity. So we just beauty see. This particular line says, a life can be perfect and in short measures. Short measures is परिमाण. Life may perfect be. Perfect means परिपूर्ण. Perfect. परिपूर्ण. जितेबाला जीवन परिपूर्ण होता है, परिपूर्ण तो केत जीवन में आसे मनुष्य जो अमरत्व प्राप्त करे। अमरत्व कौन ना तार गुण, तार महत् काम, तार भल गुण बा महान गुण जहाँ मनीष को मैंने महान मनीष गढ़ी तोड़े। तेणु सी अमरत्व प्राप्त पाए। से मरीगले भी समस्त हृदय सबुदिन मन रही है, जीवित रही है। सो लाइक ए लिली, द पोएट गिव्स ए वेरी गुड कंपैरिजन। एक्चुअली the comparison is really very interesting, and in small proportion means quantity, proportion, परिमाण, in small proportion, in short measures life may perfect be, and in small proportion we just beauties can be seen. Beauties ଅର୍ଥ ଏଠି ପିଲାମାନେ କ'ଣ noble qualities, good qualities, it is beauty. So a short life may be perfect by means of some good qualities and noble deeds. ଯେ ବୟସ ଅଳ୍ପ ହେଲେ ବି ଜଣେ ମଣିଷ ଅଳ୍ପ ଦିନ ବଞ୍ଚିଲେ ବି ଯେମିତି ମୁଁ କହୁଥିଲି ଧର୍ମପଦ କଥା, ବାଜିରାଉତ କଥା, ଜନ୍ କିଟ୍ସଙ୍କ କଥା, ସେଲିଙ୍କ କଥା, ସେମାନଙ୍କର ଜୀବନ କାଳ ଖୁବ୍ କମ୍ ଥିଲା, ଷ୍ଟିଲ୍ ସେମାନେ ଅମର ହେଇଛନ୍ତି କାହିଁକି ନା ତାଙ୍କର ମହାନ ଗୁଣ ପାଇଁ, ମହନୀୟତା ପାଇଁ. So children, it's a very interesting poem, and finally the poet says and its most short measures, ଅଳ୍ପ ପରିମାଣ ହେଉନା କାହିଁକି ତା ଅର୍ଥ ଜଣେ ମଣିଷର ଜୀବନର କମ୍ ଦିନ ହେଇଥାଉ ନା କାହିଁକି ଲାଇଫ୍ ମେ ବି ପରଫେକ୍ଟ ବି, ସେ ପରଫେକ୍ଟ ହେଇପାରିବ, ପରିପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ହେଇପାରିବ କେମିତି, ବାଇ ମିନ୍ସ ଅଫ୍ ସମ୍ ଗୁଡ୍ କ୍ୱାଲିଟିଜ୍ ଅର୍ ନୋବୁଲ୍ କ୍ୱାଲିଟିଜ୍. Right, students? So this is all about the poem, the noble nature, and I think you must have understood it clearly, and it is all over for today. Thank you very much. कौन है? देखते हैं, छाड़िए